A commemoration, vocab word, for Black activists, another vocab word,
who took their time out to go fight for what they feel is right. Like
Martin Luther King had a speech that violence is not the answer and no segregation. We celebrate Black people that helped us change history.
It reminds us to be strong, even in politics.
What matters is what's inside of you and how you act to other people.
Doesn't matter if you're Black, if you're white, just always celebrate it because you know the struggles Black leaders went through in order for you to be here right now.
even though we may have the different skin color, we're still the same type of people, no matter what.
And a lot of people, they don't see me for who I am. They see my outside appearance, but they don't see what I have on the inside.
It's very hard to grow up knowing that you're Black and you have a lot of personal prejudice against you.
I see it on the TV and I'm like, is that going to happen to my brother? Is that going to happen to my dad? I always have that in the back of my mind every time that I'm home and they're not home.
Black history is important to me because I have to remember where I came from and I have to remember who came before me.
Because you have to look at the things that Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X did for us Black people, so people can't treat us unfairly because they think some type of belief.
Because we are all people, and we need to stand up for our rights.
There's still discrimination. There's still discrimination in all parts of the world, in all parts of the United States. We should still fight for what we believe in. We should still fight for getting what's right.
Peace and grand rising. I really love that.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, that video clip always gets me.
Yeah, it's a really great one. How is everyone doing? Welcome to Young Scholars Academy. We are a youth enrichment program, and we specialize in helping our scholars to navigate through their academics and life skills, overall life skills. So we're really happy to be with you all this morning. We're really happy to be able to just share space, listen to our scholars read, all of that amazing stuff. I would like to talk for a second about Mr. Rob, Mr. Darrell, did you have anything that you'd like to say?
Oh, just good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
Young Scholars Academy. If any parents who would like to have their young people involved, please inbox myself, Rob Jones, or Miss Audie, and we can make that happen. And we're looking forward to getting back into the facility at the Boys and Girls Club Family Center, 100 Acorn Street, so that we can bring the whole crew back together again and then connect all of our folks who are out of state via the World Wide Web. That's all. Hey, Ayana.
Good morning.
All right. Audie, back to you.
Yes.
To the beat, y'all.
1 second. Okay. So we have a scholar coming to join us soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He just like, can I join Young Scholars on my computer?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk briefly about breath work and about meditation and yoga. So for those of you who are not aware, I have a yoga business with my business partner, and we're called Black Girls Who Freedom Flow. This is our logo right here, actually. Black Girls Who Freedom Flow. And essentially what freedom flowing is just going with the different things that come into our life, utilizing the resources and tools that come to us and the skills that we have to help transmute any like negative thinking, any anxiety or anything like that we're dealing with, to just be on a positive path, right? So we do something called 4-part breathing. And what 4-part breathing is you are taking time to inhale deeply through your nose, right? When you inhale through your nose as if you're smelling something. You count for 4 seconds while you're doing that. Once you inhale, you hold it for 4 seconds. And then you exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds. So it's 3 different parts of 4s, and it's called 4-part breathing. Everyone's breathing can be different. It's really about the intention that you set for yourself. So if you guys are ready, we can do that a few times. You guys want to learn how to inhale and exhale?
Sure. And this is like a form of meditation.
It is. You can use it during meditation. You can use it during yoga, really during anything. Anything that brings you peace of mind can be used as a meditative practice. Washing dishes.
So you're
Right.
breathing in through your nose for 4 seconds,
Doing chores.
holding it for 4 seconds, and then exhaling out of your mouth for 4 seconds.
Okay, you guys ready?
Hold on. We have some people joining us. Let's get them on.
Nice.
We have Amaya. We have Aaliyah, Soul Fro, the Afro girl is in the house.
Hey.
All right, now I think we're ready.
Coming on in. So just to recap, we are going to try out some 4-part breathing. You're going to inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. You're going to hold your breath for 4 seconds, and you're going to exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds. Okay? So let's take a deep inhale. Hold it. And exhale. Nice. How'd that feel? Feel good? Good. Nice.
I was nervous.
You were nervous? Let's do it again. I like to tell people also, my clients, that when you're inhaling, you feel yourself elevate when you inhale and you straighten out your posture and everything, right? No tension. You're just straightening yourself, aligning yourself. And once you hold it and exhale, then you kind of come back down. You're not slouching, but you're just kind of settling. If that makes sense. You're grounding yourself. Okay? So let's try again. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Nice. Ooh, I did that. That's awesome. You can use this breathing technique like during anything that you're doing. Really anything. It's to focus your mind, to kind of focus your thoughts, and to get you just on the right path, positive thinking. And
So Miss Audi, when you do this, like how many times are you supposed to do it, or how long are you supposed to do it? Like 10 times, or
it's really up to you. In class, I typically do like 10-minute meditation. You could do more. You can really do however long, length of time that you choose. It's really more about what the intention that you're setting for yourself. So if you are super worked up, and you just need to calm down, you can do 4-part breathing. You can do quick breathing. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can slow it down however you choose. But just taking a few minutes, even just a minute, to just really focus in on your breathing, really notice the emotions that you feel when you're taking that inhale, and notice the way that your body feels when you're taking the inhale, your surroundings, your settings, all of those different things are very, very important.
and and on another note, and this is kind of more for the parents, but for our young scholars, during this COVID year and some change, a lot of us have been relegated to being at home, being in the house. And a lot of our scholars, I know personally, have been on their video games an inordinate amount of time. That's a good word for the kids to. You want to type that in the chat, Miss Audi? Inordinate? And at parents, you're not going to be popular, but we're not parents. We're not in parenting to be popular, but to get the kids outside, to get them walking, to get them moving. We're fortunate here in Springfield. We got a park called Forest Park, and we've got a number of colleges that have tracks and things like that. AIC, Springfield College, and just getting out there and just walking. If you have a track nearby your house, typically the rule of thumb is if it's a standard size track, 4 times around the track is a mile. So you can track yourself, see how many miles you get in, or how long you can walk, or how long you can jog, or how long you can run. And then, still practicing social distancing. When I'm outside, I don't really wear my mask, but if there's a lot of people and I'm coming in proximity of people, if I'm walking up on people, I put my mask on until I pass them, a pretty significant distance, and then I take my mask off. So, and for those who might be a little bit self-conscious about, working out or walking in public, there's tons and tons and tons of YouTube videos, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or even longer, where you can do some sort of just body weight calisthenics. You don't need any weights. You don't need anything that you would find in a gym. All you need is your body and some ambition and some initiative, and just stay active. I think it's important. Just being in the house, sitting down, being sedentary, because I know everybody's not eating all their vegetables, right? So sitting in the house all day, being sedentary, weeks at a time, months at a time, is not good for our overall health. So, like for my son, I have him involved, even though I got to force him, but I have him involved in a bunch of different, like basketball, skills training, strength and conditioning. Sometimes I get him to come out and walk with me. He's got a workout that I wrote out for him at home that he can do, like 100 push-ups, 100 jump squats. I have a little bit of equipment at home, that he can do. Jump roping is another great one. You can time yourself, but it's just like, gotta stay active. Like this morning, I walked 5 miles this morning before coming on to the show over at Forest Park. Did 100 push-ups and about 30 chin-ups. Not 100 push-ups all at once. I did it in sets. I broke it up, and then not 30 chin-ups all at once. I did it in sets. I broke it up. So, oh, yep, Amaya. Amaya said she loves to eat healthy. And Miss Audi mentioned riding your bike. Riding your bike is great. I prefer to go out on tracks off road, so I don't like any cars around me. I don't want to have to worry about somebody driving, watching a video while they're driving or texting, and then roll into where I'm at and hit me. So, whatever you do, you want to be safe, and you want to be sound, and you want to be aware of your surroundings. Be aware who's around you, what's around you. Don't go do an exercise or go walking and just be your face in your phone. Put your phone away unless you got your headphones, you're playing music. Don't even put your headphones. I don't put my headphones on my ear entirely. I kind of have it forward so I can kind of still hear what's going on with my surroundings. You got to be very aware. And if your parents, pull them out. They're sitting down just as much as you guys are. Get them going. Get them moving.
All right. And Demetrius Chambly, what's up, Demetrius? Says, peace, family. Movement is medicine. He just finished his 1 mile run, and he loves the breathing exercises. So before we get into the reading, I was going to ask Ardera just to go over those breathing exercises just one more time for anybody who might have missed it. And Rob, that's good information. And your son is what, 6'5", about 200, solid dude, and it's still necessary for him to get his exercise in as well, correct? Which is why
because I got him. Unfortunately, I got him a PS5, so he's been like married to that.
Right.
So it's just like you gotta pull him out.
You can marry those PSs. I can't hear you.
That's his best friend.
I'm in love with the chat.
All right, Dara, one more time with those breathing exercises. It'll only take a few minutes for you to do it. So if you can just run through that one more time, I think that'd be really dope.
Absolutely. Okay, so for our breathing technique, we are going to inhale through our nose, nice and deep. When you inhale through your nose, it's as if you're smelling something beautiful, right? Lovely aroma. Go ahead and inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold that breath for 4 seconds. And exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds, okay? Let's try it. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Rob. Mr. Rob wrote it in the chat as well.
So maybe we might want to put it in the comments
Mm-hmm.
or have it floating on the bottom.
Yeah, and you can do it as often as you need to. This is your breath, your body, your intentions, and yeah. I also put in suggestions like you can do before school starts in the morning. You know, once you're done getting ready, if whether you're virtual or in person, yeah, something that you could do before class just to get yourself going, just to get your day started. Lunch break, anything before a test, before you have a conversation, you know, some type of conversation that you're anticipating, different things.
All right. Well, thank
Oh,
you.
someone has their name up, their hand up. Who's? Oh, this Ayana.
What I wanted to say is that at my school we have a yoga after school.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
I need to try yoga. Everyone keeps telling me it's so great, but I'm like,
It is. I used to do it as a like I was probably like 6 or 7, and I did yoga.
oh wow.
Nice.
All right, so I have no excuse. I just got to find a nice black-owned spot.
Well, Black Girls Who Freedom Flow, they actually have a night of yoga for men.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think it's on Thursdays.
So we do it once a month. It's called Bros Do Yoga Too. And we actually named it that because yoga, it's nice. It's great for everyone. But I don't know if you all are familiar, but as I'm aware of, usually people will try to gender specify and say that it's just for women, but it isn't. It's for anyone who has a body. It's for anybody, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we have Bros Do Yoga Too once a month. We have classes for, you know, co-ed classes and intergenerational classes, meaning younger children, you know, adults, like seniors, anybody can come. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
Damn, man, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, so you don't
Thanks,
have an
Daryl.
excuse. We also have virtual class, so you don't have to come to class. So yeah, we make it as convenient as possible. We really are intentional as far as providing people with the resources to just get through, especially during times like, you know, COVID. Anxieties are high, tensions are high.
Do you have to be flexible? That's probably one of the reasons why I kind of avoided yoga, because I'm not too flexible.
Not at all. Not at all. You get there. Like literally you get there. There's a pose called Namaste, which is crisscross applesauce. You guys know, sitting in Indian style.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, like I'm sitting like this right now. And so when I first started doing yoga, I couldn't sit in Namaste for a long time. But eventually, you know, and every day with practice and with dedication, I added on some minutes, you know, increase the minutes and just sit there. And you're focusing your mind. You're not focusing on how much it hurts. You know, you're focusing your mind. You're also not forcing anything. You don't want to hurt your body. None of this is to hurt you. It's all to advance your flexibility, to open up your mind, to create more mindful moments for yourself. This is all self-work, self-love. So if you're not flexible right away, you get there eventually. It's just
All right, I'll try it virtual. I'll
Yeah.
try it virtual to begin with.
Nice.
All right.
Okay,
So
let's get into some reading.
yes, sir.
Who would like to go first? Do you guys show your cameras off if you don't want to go first?
Yeah, that might be a new thing.
Is that a thing? Aaliyah gets to go. You guys are funny.
Wow.
Aaliyah was the last
That's
camera off.
gangster.
I just like made it there.
They're like 1, 2, 3, not it.
That's
That's
gangster.
funny.
Oh gosh.
You guys are hilarious. Okay, let's have Aaliyah go first. If we're going off of the cameras shut off.
Fine.
Yes.
Okay. Again, I'm reading the same book I was reading last Saturday with The Might of Angels. And they were celebrating Goober's birthday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But Monday, July 26, 1954. Tonight after supper, I asked Mama and Daddy if we could buy a TV. They both answered at the same time, no. Televisions cost money. Mama said, money that we don't have, Daddy said. I don't know how much. I don't know much about money, except when you have a nickel, you can buy 5 pretzel sticks from Woolworths. When you have a penny, you can buy a sucking candy. And when you have a dime, you can buy a root beer. Last Christmas, I got a penny, 2 nickels, and even some dimes. I didn't spend none of that money. Since I've been old enough to hold the penny, I've been saving to buy a new pogo stick, an ace flyer. I also know this. When you don't spend money on things like a peach Melba dress that are too tight and shiny shoes you don't wear much, you have more money in your pocket for a TV. We were sitting out on our porch watching Goober chase fireflies when the radio came on. We were listening to a commentary about an upcoming game between the Dodgers and Red Sox when the program was interrupted. The man on the radio said U.S. Senator Harry F. Byrd vows to stop integration in Virginia schools. Get the baseball commentary back on, I insisted. For the second time, Mama and Daddy spoke together. Shh. The man on the radio was talking about school, and I did not want to hear it. It's summer, right? Can we please not think about school? Even Goober agreed. He caught a firefly in the jar and ran to show me. Baseball back on, he sang. Baseball back on. Wednesday, July 28th, 1954. Yolanda and I played our favorite game today. We called it Tell the Truth or Die Trying. Yolanda always started telling the truth by making an X over her heart with her pointer finger. Cross my heart, hope to die. Stick a needle in my eye. 'Cause if I'm lying, watch me crying. 'Cause I know I will be dying. Then we pressed our foreheads together to see if either one of us had shed a lying, crying, dying tear to seal the truth between us. Today, Yolanda said she wouldn't be coming to Pretty Man with me. Her parents don't believe in integration, especially her father. My pa says when we go to a place where you're not wanted. My pa says, why go to a place where you're not wanted? I didn't believe Yolanda at first. She said, cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye. 'Cause if I'm lying, watch me crying. 'Cause I know I'll be dying. She had to be lying. 'Cause this could not be true. Are you telling me a story, Yolanda Graves? 'Cause if you are, cut it out. Yolanda shook her head. I'm telling the truth, Donnie, I swear. Yolanda didn't need to cross her heart to show me she wasn't lying. Her down-in-the-mouth expression told me she was being real. Then I remembered the paper Mom and Daddy had signed. I'd been so flabbergasted by seeing their names that I had forgotten to look to see if Yolanda's parents had signed the form too. I guess they hadn't. Well, if you're not going to Pretty Man, I'm not going neither, I said, but I didn't mean that. And Yolanda knew it too. You gotta do it, Donnie, she said. How will we ever know what the inside of that school looks like if you don't go? Roger Wilkes can tell us. Yolanda said, Roger Wilkes' glasses have more smudge on them than a windshield stuck with mosquitoes. I'm surprised he can see his own 2 feet. Yolanda wouldn't look at me. Besides, she said quietly, Roger's not going to Pretty Man either. His daddy said Ma wouldn't even open the door for those NAACP people. So it's just me? I asked. Yolanda kicked at the gravel underneath her feet. She nodded. It's just you going to Pretty Man, Donnie. Just me? If a balloon could feel what it was like to be sat on a birthday party, it would know how I felt right then. Saturday, July 31st, 1954. This weekend, the Reverend is hosting folks from cavalry visiting congregation from Reston, or to welcome them. We held a church-wide picnic at the pasture. I don't know who does the naming of these places in Hadley. Orham's pasture isn't really a pasture, like where cows gather. Orham's is a raggedy patch of crabgrass that separates Ivory Town from the crow's nest. It is the closest we come from the white part of town. The grass is more brown than green, but the pasture is wide and offers plenty of open space. It's closed by a chain-link fence. Seeing as there were so many people needing to picnic, I guess the Reverend chose the Orms to give us all enough room for spreading out our blankets. There was a boy from Calvary who brought 2 baseball bats, 2 baseballs, a bat, a bunch of mitts, and even an umpire's mask. I brought my bat too, and my mitt. The kid's name was Lonnie. He called together a baseball game, and soon after, everyone from both congregations had gathered. All the boys from Cavalry came to the center of the pasture. So did the boys from Shepherd's Way, and so did I. Lonnie looked at me sidelong. This ain't softy ball, he said. It's a baseball game. What Lonnie didn't know is that I can knock the jelly out of any ball that comes at me, and that I'm no softy. Freddie Melvin spoke up quick. Let her play. Lonnie wasn't having it. No girls. Freddie made a sour face like he was being forced to eat something, but he was faking. We'll put up with her. Fake and sour face all. Freddie wanted me out of his team. We can stick her in the outfield, he told Lonnie. Now I was making a sour face. The outfield? I protested. Everybody in Hadley knows I'm a second baser, just like Jackie Robinson. You want to play or not? Freddie asked. Yeah, I want to play, but I want to play where I can play, not dawdle with the butterflies. Donnie, when it's time to bat, you'll play, okay? Not okay, I huffed. But Lonnie was already assigning his players, and the game was starting. It was Shepherd's Way against Cavalry. Roger was quick to join our team. Goober, too. They playing? Lonnie said. There's only one thing I hate about baseball. Losing. I couldn't tell Roger not to play, but I had some control over Goober. Before I could think of a way to gently encourage Goober not to play, Mama was at Centerfield volunteering him. Goober can set up, she said, and she started helping Goober make bases from whatever was nearby. Together, Mama and Goober drove the nose of a pop bottle into the dirt to mark first base. Second base was a box top. Third, a snatch of a rubber tire. Home plate was a sock Goober had found and stuffed with newspaper. This seemed to satisfy Goober's wanting to be on the Shepherd's Way team. Mama, Daddy, Goober, and the Reverend, and a whole bunch of people from Shepherd's Way pulled their picnic blankets closer to the game. Yolanda was there too. Make it happen, Donnie, she shouted. Show them you mean business. The cavalry team was up first. That Lonnie kid, he sure knew his way around swinging a bat. He met Freddie's fastest pitch with a mean crack, giving me some way out in the pasture. I scooped up the ball and hurled it. But by the time Roger stumbled over his feet, Lonnie was home free. A home run happy. When it was our turn, Freddie let me bat first. Lonnie was pitching. Bring it home, Donnie, Daddy shouted. Don't just swing. Use your noggin. Think, child. Home, Donnie, Goober cheered. I had a good grip on that bat. Hiked it over my shoulder. I was ready, feeling confident, feeling fine. When I surveyed the pasture, there was a rattling coming from the fence. All 3 hatchers had shown up and were watching from the spots closest to Iverton, where the fence separates Orham's pasture from the road. They didn't dare pipe up or misbehave. There were only 3 of them, but lots more of us, including grown-ups. Just having the hatches around bothered me, though I tried my best to ignore them, but it was hard doing that. It helped having Daddy coach me from the sidelines. Chin up, Donnie. Lonnie slammed the pitch. Man's sakes, there was fire on the stitches of his ball. Strike 1. Lonnie craned his knee high up and brought the ball back. Flam. That pitch was hotter than the last. It could have melted the fenders on the Reverend's potneck. The 2 words every batter hates shot up from behind me. Strike 2. I released my bat for a moment. Did that thing Ryle's mama the most. Spit on both my palms. Choke the bat, Daddy coached. Lonnie's teammates cheered him. Put down the middle, Lonnie man. Sorry, this ain't no place for a girl. Lonnie bombed me with his pitch, as slamming as it was. I never lost sight of its power. I didn't hit the ball. I laced it. High and far, all the way to St. Peter's Post. I'm nearly past the gates. I put some smooth peanut butter on that jelly donut. I flung my back and breaknecked the heck towards the pop bottle in the dirt to first base. It sure helps being big-legged. A top box never looked too good when I was landing on it at second base. Soon that tire patch was calling my name, third base. Now I was bombing for it, blowing through puffed cheeks, working my way to the stuffed sock to home base. My ball had soared so far and high that it took the Cavalries a good 2 minutes to get it back. Still, every baseball player knows you're not safe till you hear the ump make the call. As I watched that stuffed sock get closer, I could hear Lonnie hollering to the outfielders, "Get the ball, she's near to home." Daddy must have kept Mama from fainting at what came next. I didn't just slide into home base. I slid on my belly, mopping the land with the front of my shirt. I'm not one for eating dirt, but dirt sliding into home base tastes sweeter than brown sugar. Never mind that, it stung my eyes. I was nose to the ground, smelling that musty sock, smelling home. Safe, came the call. I got to my feet, danced a happy kick step, brushed the brown sugar from my front. Our game continued through the afternoon. I hit a double and 2 more homes. Shepherd's Way beat Calvary, but only by a little. It wasn't until the game was over that the Hatch boys left. They hung tight to the fence, fingers laced to its chains, watching me play. Sunday, August 1st, 1954. Calvary's minister, our guest speaker, delivered today's ceremony. The Lord doesn't take sides, he says, but when he does know good baseball when he sees it. Yesterday, the players from Shepherd's Way gave the Lord a front row seat to some lively ball playing. Wednesday, August 4th, 1954. Today was hotter than the hinges on the devil's front door. Mama and Daddy took me to walk to Pretty Man Cobarn so we could see how long it would take me to get there from home and to make sure I'm clear about the directions on foot. Mama and Daddy didn't know anything about the shortcuts Yolanda and I have found, so we walked the main streets, the longest way to get there. 2 miles isn't fun in the heat. I started out on my pogo stick, but took it hoisting it across my shoulders after just a short time. Goober noted the streets and avenues, calling out their names as we walked. Mama and Daddy peppered me with rules about what to do and what not to do when I attend my new school. Mama's rules were all about being polite and not making trouble. Daddy's was about strict and safety. All the rules started the same way. Always remember and don't forget, and make sure you always remember you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Don't forget to smile. Make sure you greet your new teacher courteously. Daddy gave me a warning. Rule number 1, he said, keep your hands to yourself. Even Goober had rules, polite ones and safety ones. Give people a peanut, he said, and give mean people 3 peanuts. Monday, August 9th, 1954. Goober's not allowed to come out of our fence without asking me, Mama, or Daddy. Today he wanted a pogo lesson, but we had to stay in if he wanted a pogo. But we had to stay in our small front yard to do it, which is not enough room for jumping and not enough concrete for pumping good on the pogo stick. I tried showing Goober how to pogo on grass, but my pogo kept sticking in the dirt. This made Goober cry then wail, "I want to fly like you, Donnie." He kept saying it over and over and louder, screeching like he does when he's upset. Then he slammed the pogo stick hard on the grass and cried more. I sat him down on our back steps until he calmed down. "Let's play airplane," I said softly. Goober spread his arms wide. He ran in a zigzag around our yard. "Watch out for the other planes, Donnie, okay?" "Okay, Goober." "Do you see the other planes flying, Donnie? Do you see them flying?" "Yes, Goober, I see them." Monday, August 16th, 1954. Daddy brought home a new magazine today. It's called Sports Illustrated. A whole magazine about sports. Its pages were shiny, and it felt so good touching the pages against the skin on my fingers as I turned them. And the pages, I couldn't stop staring. Wednesday, August 18th, 1954. Without asking me, Goober played with my pogo stick. I don't like him touching my things, but the worst part is he left my pogo stick out in the rain. The stick is already rusty enough. I'm mad as a hornet right now and ready to attack Goober. That boy. Somebody needs to leave him out in the rain so that he can be rust. At least then he'd be stuck to mess with my stuff. I wish I could send Goober back to the planet where boys like him come from. Right now, if it were up to me, I'd put him on a rocket ship and set the final destination far away. And send Goober flying off forever. I hate when he does stuff like this. I hate it. If Mom and Daddy ever heard me say what they call the H word, H-A-T-E, I'd be the one sent off on a rocket and made to live on Jupiter. Mama says it's God's eye. In God's eyes, there is no hate. But what about my eyes? What about my eyes that have to look at my rusted pogo stick and be hornet mad every time I see the brown crusted metal on my pogo spring? What about my eyes that have to see what happens when Goober acts up? So yeah, hate is a bad word. But when your brother leaves your favoriteest thing in the world out in the rain, you have to hate him for it. That's why a diary book is good. I can write the H word as much as I want. I can feel hate, but never say it. I hate having a little brother like Goober. I hate putting up with my baby brother's dumbness. I hate being the one who has to stick up for Goober so much. And I hate that God made Goober the way he is. Hate, 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 hate. And there are more H words. Ha 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 ha. Mom and Daddy can't stop me from writing hate. Saturday, August 21st, 1954. Instead of calling it my pogo stick, I should be calling it a pogo stuck. More rust has set in. The spring is crusted and slow to give. Sunday, August 26th, 1954. I think the Reverend is getting lazy. The ceremonies used to be things about finding joy in the Lord's surprises. Not all the Reverend thinks about is integration and fairness in education. Can't you think of some new ideas? Thursday, August 26th, 1954. Mama says grease heals. Today she slathered my pogo spring with bacon grease, left over from frying, and it worked. That bacon grease made the spring like new. So I'm back to jumping on my pogo stick, and now it smells like pork strips. But at least I can say bye-bye pogo stuck. And that's when I'm stopping.
I love that story.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I love that story.
True.
I love that story. Thank you.
Oh, good job, man. Look at you. I was enjoying that. You could have went on for another 20 minutes. I would have kept listening. I'm like off screen listening the whole time, like, Goober. Good Lord. All right. Who we got? Anybody have any questions for Aaliyah? Okay. Well, let's keep it moving. Who's up next, Rob?
Miran's up next because she's sleeping.
Miran.
We're waking her up.
I opened my camera because I thought we were doing that thing again, and I don't want to click it.
All right. So, what are you going to read to us, Miran? What's on your?
New Amelia Bedelia.
Oh yeah. Bedelia.
You forgot me. I feel so sad now.
Never.
Okay, I'm on this page 25. I'm going to read the last two lines of page 24 because it's good to recap yourself. I usually do it. Yeah, you're muted if you're trying to talk. Okay.
You got it.
It will be a good practice for me for becoming a big sister. Bing bong! I like that. Went the door. This time, Amelia Bedelia's mother went to get the door. It was Gladys again. Now she was holding a Wrigley, I don't know what that says, ball of fur with sparkling eyes. Gladys showed Baby to Amelia Bedelia's mom, who scratched Baby behind his ears as they chatted. Look, he's so cute. Can we get a dog, Mom? asked Amelia as Gladys and Baby said goodbye. Pretty, please. Pretty. Her mother looked at Millie Bedelia, then her husband. Then she said, "What kind of dog would you get?" Yay, thought Amelia Bedelia. This sounded like progress. But it was so sudden. She wasn't sure what to say. So she followed her own rule and asked a question. "What kinds are there?" she said. "There are hundreds of breeds," said her father. There are working dogs, hunting dogs, huge dogs, tiny dogs, dogs that are curly, fuzzy, silky, frizzy. Okay, said Lady Bedelia. "To choose the right dog," he said, "you'll need to do your homework." "I finished my homework," said Lady Bedelia. "I can start my dog work as soon as we finish eating." "Hey," said her mother, "don't you know someone who walks dogs?" "Dana," said Lady Bedelia. "That's perfect." I gave her the idea to start her dog walking business. "Well then," her mom said, "I'm sure she would help you figure out what kind of dog to get." "Yeah," said her dad. "Maybe you could help her walk dogs. You can take different types of dogs for test drive, like a car. See which one you liked." After Millie Bedelia helped with the dishes, she called Dana. They set a time to meet at the park the next day. That night, Amelia Bedelia dreamed about dogs and babies. Little dogs were just perched on top of dogs, like jockeys on race horses. A doorbell rang, and away they went. Bing bong! Bing bong, bing bong. Bing bong! And chapter 4. A lovely young day. A walk to the park. The next afternoon, Amelia Bedelia met Dana in the park, just as they had planned. Dana had her dog, Buster, with her, but she was also surrounded by 9 other dogs, in all shapes and sizes and colors. "Hi, Amelia Bedelia. Did you bring your famous lemon tarts along with you?" asked Dana. "Wow, how great." Amelia Bedelia shook her head. "Sorry, I forgot." "I'm glad," said Dana. "Those yummy tarts drive my dogs crazy." Amelia Bedelia began to scratch a dog behind its long, leathery ears. They were enormous, like an elephant's ears. "That's a bloodhound. His name is Sherlock." Oh, said Dana. "He can follow any trail just by tracking a scent." "A scent," said Amelia Bedelia. "Can he find more valuable stuff, like dimes and quarters and dollar bills?" "A bloodhound can follow smell for miles and find whatever needs to be found," explained Dana. At that moment, all the dogs perked up their ears. Then they all turned their heads in the same direction. Amelia Bedelia out, and Dana looked too. Prancing down the path was a magnificent poodle. Picture of all these dogs, and picture of love. Maybe he can send like $100. That would be great. I can find $1 million. "Wow," said Dana. "What a cutie." "Are poodles your favorite dog?" asked Amelia Bedelia. "That's a terrific poodle." "Oh, I'm sad." That's a terrific poodle," said Dana. "Do you know the boy walking it?" Amelia Bedelia was so captivated by the dog that she hadn't noticed the boy at all. She looked at him just as he and his dog came upon a group of skateboarders on top of the hill. Magnificent poodle, magnificent poodle. Random boys and the other boy, random boys and the other boys. No, skaters and the boy. One of the skateboarders whistled loudly while another one bowed deeply. A third yelled, "Hey, dog boy, who's your girlfriend?" "I don't know." Then they laughed, and they rode in circles around the boy and his dog. Amelia Bedelia felt bad for him. Those skateboarders went to her school. Tomorrow she would tell them not to be so mean to other people. "Oh, I have a favor to ask," said Dana. "Would you help me return these tired pups to their owners? They are your pals. They won't give you any trouble." "Sure," said Amelia Bedelia. "I can do that." "Thanks," said Dana. "I need to go home early. Tonight I'm going on my very first blind date." Amelia Bedelia didn't know what to say, so she asked a question. "Will you go take him sea-eyeing dog for a walk?" A curious look came over Dana's face. Then she began to laugh. "Oh, honey," she said, "my date isn't blind. He can see. We've just never met before. We have friends in common, and they wanted us to meet since we both work with dogs. He has a dog grooming business, and he's a vet." "Wow," said Amelia Bedelia. "If Buster ever gets sick, you can take him to your blind date." Blind date, blind date. They're both blind. Oh, nice. Dana laughed even louder. No. He's a veterinarian. Veterinarian. Thank you.
You're
He
welcome.
said, "He is a veteran." That is spelled differently. "He served in the military and worked with dogs." Woof woof. Then he went back to school and learned how to groom dogs. He loves them. Dana took the leashes of all 10 dogs, handed them to Amelia Bedelia. "Here you go," she said. "You're chatting with them." "These 5 live on Maple Street. They're very smart. They'll let you know which house is theirs." "Thank you for trusting me," said Amelia Bedelia. "Have fun tonight." In chapter 5, I'm going to stop there. And it's called Crossing Leashes. I'm showing you only this picture. You guys don't see it. Stop. Puppy. This is Puppy, and this is Puppy, and this is Puppy, and this is Puppy. Oh, no. That's all I'm going to read.
Nice. Thank you for
Good
sharing.
job, Bernard. Thank you.
Good job.
And I love the personality in your reading too. That was awesome. I know.
I'm going to mimic you now. See all this food? It's all mine. I'm not sharing.
Nice job. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Miran?
Back. That's my comment for myself.
Maybe we should get Amaya, aka Bootsy Collins, with those glasses on.
Hey.
What'd you guys say?
Nice.
Everyone knows who Bootsy Collins is.
How sweet.
Because my eyes are swollen.
Oh. Yeah, I have allergies?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's from George Clinton sunglasses.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. George Clinton vibes.
You don't know nothing about George Clinton.
You don't know nothing about George
Are
Clinton.
you kidding me?
Listen, I played George Clinton in yoga class.
Okay. What song?
You
Atomic
gotta come to
Dog?
class.
Atomic Dog? That's it? That's the only George Clinton song you know?
We take requests.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. We have Ayana. Daniel is keeps being kicked out of the broadcast. But
Daniel, I feel so bad.
And I kind of want Daniel, are you there?
Daniel? I don't see him.
No.
Oh,
He wrote in the chat, yes, but
Okay. I think maybe do you want to go next? Would you like to go next so that way if
Daniel said no.
no, Miran said no.
Oh, Moran read it for him.
Yeah, he's
I feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
You got to get the 20K like I have, not that 1K
but I'm
plan.
wondering if we'll let him
Be
go
broke.
so that way if it does kick him out, like because he's on right now.
Nah, we're not gonna force
Maybe
him.
someone should like
Okay.
ask their parents.
If not, then whoever else would like to go for it. He says it just keeps kicking me off.
I would
Okay.
go.
Amaya,
Let George Clinton go.
go ahead, Amaya.
So we was reading Kelly and the Secret Journal, and we was at when she was telling her teacher that she did something. She was lying. So we're on Wednesday, November 17, 10:30 a.m. Hello, stupid old notebook again. We did not go get my journal from Tiffany. After dinner last night, before Mom and Brandon got into a big disargument. A big disargument is some talking in a regular voice, then talking a little, but louder, then yelling for about 10 seconds, then talking in very quiet voices. I know because Mom and Dad used to have big disarguments before Dad moved to Maryland. Now they just talk to each other in nice voices and say please and thank you in almost every sentence. Mom and Brandon big disargument was about basketball. Mom and Dad had decided that Brandon was going to have to skip 1 week of basketball practice and one basketball game because he had been clowning around in class. If Brandon was good in class, he would get to play basketball again. If not, he would miss another week. If he missed more than 2 weeks, then he would have to quit the team. At dinner, Brandon was very mad about his punishment, and he was trying to argue with Mom. He said his teachers were picking on him. He said he could do what he wanted to do in class because it's a free country, which is true because I learned when I went to the United States Capitol, Mom used her voice that means watch out. And she said they were not going to discuss it anymore. She said that if Brandon wanted to stay on the basketball team, he should just do what he was supposed to do, and that was that. So after the big disargument, Mom was kind of grumpy, and she said she did not want to go to Tiffany's with me. So I went to my room and tried to think up a way to help Brandon, but good so he could stay on the basketball team. I wanted him to stay on the basketball team for 2 reasons. First, playing basketball makes Brandon happy, and if Brandon's not happy, then he won't want to move to Maryland. Second, I already made posters for when I cheer for Brandon at his basketball games, and if he doesn't get to stay on the team. I won't get to show my posters. One poster says, "Roar, Brandon, Lion!" Because Brandon's team is the Lions. And the other poster says, "Keep trying, Brandon." I got some little basketball stickers that I put all over the posters. Thinking about posters and stickers gave me an idea. I decided to make a sticker chart for Brandon to help him keep track of how many days he had been good in school. I took a big piece of paper and wrote, "Was I good today?" at the top. I made 5 boxes and wrote a day of the week in each box. I did not make a box for Saturday or Sunday. At the bottom, I wrote "Good Report" stickers. Then I wrote 5 stickers, basketball team. I taped the sheet with my leftover stickers into the paper. Then I taped the chart to the door of Brandon's room. This morning, the chart was not on Brandon's door. Mom said the chart was a very good idea, but that she should probably keep the chart so she could put stickers on it when Brandon got a good report. When I got to school today, I told Tiffany that Mom and I were going to come over soon to get my journal. "You better not," she said. "Why not?" I asked her. "I don't want to give it back to you yet," she said. "And if you come over with your mom, I will tell her all the bad stuff you wrote." "You're mean," I said. "If you tell my mom what I think her new haircut makes her look like an old lady, then that will hurt her feelings. And my mom is always nice to you." "Why would you hurt her feelings?" Tiffany smiled in a mean way again. "I won't hurt her feelings if you do what I say," Tiffany said. "You have to play with me at recess." "I want to play Airplane Princess Twins." "Fine," I said. Even though I hate Airplane Princess Twins, I like regular Airplane Twins better. Then me and I made it up. We pretend we are twin sisters on an airplane, and we pretend to fly to different corners of the playground. We pretend the different spots on the playground are famous places where we can do cool stuff. Like we can pretend fly to Australia and hop around kangaroos. Then we will pretend fly to the North Pole and visit Santa workshop. Airplane Twins is so fun, but Airplane Princess Twins isn't fun at all because you don't get to do any hopping, and you don't get to fly to very cold places. You just get to fly to different palaces and castles where you sit inside and drink pretend tea. Maybe will be more fun if Lily plays too. Maybe Tiffany will let us play Airplane Princess triplets instead. That's all I'm going to read today.
Nice job.
Good job. Amaya, that word you said, disargument, was that supposed to be disagreement?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
All right. Yeah. So just wanted to help you out with that one. Disagreement, because there's no such thing as disargument. Stop making up terms, girl.
Cause I'm like, this argument, but because like this agreement and this, because they added like the A G R and E and the other E. Yeah, I was like,
Sometimes we read so fast that we skip words, miss words, or misread words. But when you have a word like that, disagreement, or any words that have multiple syllables in it, just take your time and just sound it out, because there's no silent words, no silent letters in that word. So, and then also you use your reasonability check. It's like, is that even a word? I might be reading this wrong, or it might be a word that you don't know, and you look it up.
yeah.
Also,
And I had to
Mr.
charge
Rob,
my phone.
those are great suggestions, clues to help you get through pronouncing the word. Also, like disagreement and other words, words have like prefix and suffix, you know? So if you're able to break it down like the disagreement, as Mr. Rob said, then it will be helpful. Thank you so much for reading, Amaya.
You're welcome.
We have some comments in the group. And then I think we have Ayana and Daniel.
I'm just going to put these sunglasses back on.
Nice. Okay. Someone said, this Tiffany is a trip. There's definitely a lesson to be learned about bullying here. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Ayana, are you there? Did Ayana go first or
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Did you go first or your sister? I'm sorry.
The sister.
Right.
My sister
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
What's up with your camera? Oh, there she is with the Gilligan Island hat.
The bucket hat.
I don't know why my camera was off, but sweet.
All right, you're up, kiddo.
So far, what happened is Abby just got to middle school, and she just kind of started to figure things out when she realized somebody else had the same locker as her. We're still pretty young in the story, but the book I'm continuing today is Frazzled Book 2, Ordinary Mishaps and Inevitable Catastrophes. It's not like we're planning on throwing her stuff away. I just wanted my locker to be my locker, and not finding somewhere else for her stuff. The end of lunch bell rang loud, and all the yard duties were on high alert, wrangling students who were moving too slowly and screeching at everyone to get to class. Our plan would have to wait. With this locker problem totally unresolved and still fresh in my mind, the last thing I wanted to do was think about science. It wasn't so much that I hated science, I just didn't get it. The only thing that made it semi-interesting was Mr. Walters. He wore thick glasses that made his eyes look buggy, and his hair was always sticking up like he had just put his finger in an electrical socket. The look was very mad scientist. Some people thought it was too cliche, but it kind of worked for him. He started the class with his usual pep. I hope you're ready to have your minds blown by science. Cooperation is a big part of scientific discovery, so you will be working with a partner on our next unit. The whole class groaned. We knew the deal. Teachers never let you choose your own partner, and unless you were very, very lucky, you usually got someone you never really wanted to get at all. I did not have a particularly good track record when it came to partners. The three-legged race partner I had last year made us trip on the floor because he wanted to eat some candy. And my tennis partner kept hitting me in the back of the head with the ball. My swimming partner just sat on top of my neck while I drowned. And my water balloon throwing partner, she just missed everything on purpose. He started listing off partners: Julie Randall and Paul Bryant, Aggie Singh and Ellen Smith. Then Mr. Walker started reading off the list of pairs, and I realized that he was putting us together alphabetically. Alphabetical order was the worst. In elementary school, I used to have to line up behind Trevor Whipple. He liked to fart on people for fun. Then for a while, there was this girl in my class named Alice Wong, and the teacher always mixed us up, even though we were nothing alike. And she would always say something like, "Oops, haha, I thought I can't tell you two apart." I didn't know who I would be stuck with this time, but as Mr. Walters got closer and closer to the end of the alphabet, I began to brace myself. Leslie Tyson and Andy Tu, Ron Valadez and Amy Wilson, Abby Wu, and Jessica White. Who was that? The name didn't sound familiar, as if he was reading my mind. Mr. Walters motioned to the back of the classroom and said, "Oh, I almost forgot. We have a brand new student. Welcome to the science class. We learn about the world around us and try to have fun while doing it. Or at least periodically." While the rest of the class laughed, or at least pretended to laugh, at his corny joke, I turned to look at my new partner, and my stomach dropped. It was her. It was the locker thief. I couldn't pay attention to anything Mr. Walters said after that. How could I be expected to learn science under these circumstances? This was not just another coincidence. This was the universe playing a mean joke on me. This was Murphy's Law at its very worst. This was a catastrophe. This was inevitable. This was my life. I have to do something. So I waited until class was over to talk to Mr. Walters and beg him for a new partner. I said, "Please, and please, and please, and please, please, please." I thought I did an okay job in pleading the case, because right after that, I said more please, 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 and finally, a good old please. I didn't do much good, though. He just wouldn't budge. The science gods have spoken. You're partners now. Give it a chance. You'll never know. You might learn something. This class, and life for that matter, is all about experimenting with the unknown. Mr. Walters was all about trying new things, but I didn't like them at all. New things were messy and confusing and unpredictable. I was not a fan of new things. Plus, they threw a huge wrench into the plan. If I really stuck with the new girl, if I was really stuck with this new girl as the science partner, I couldn't exactly go through with our theme without causing a major problem. I wanted her out of my locker, but I also wanted a good grade. And Mr. Walters' class, and now Jessica Wyatt was part of that too. I hadn't even met her yet, and she was already affecting the course of my life. And if I didn't work with her as my partner, I could fail science and get stuck in middle school for another year. That was my doomsday scenario, and I could not let that happen. So I was stuck. I zoned out for a minute and ended up in front of the locker. Her locker, my locker, our locker. As I contemplated my unfortunate fate and racked my brain for any sort of loophole I may have overlooked, she showed up. There was a long, empty silence. Was she A, scared, B, surprised, C, angry, or D, none of the above? I had no clue. But then she said the strangest thing. She laughed a little and shook her head. She said, "Oh, did they give us the same locker?" Like it was no big deal. She suggested we go to the office to sort things out. The office, of all places. I didn't know what school she went to before, but this confirmed it. She was definitely new to Poindexter. Every kid here knew that the office was never helpful as you wanted, or every kid here knew that the office was never as helpful as you wanted or needed it to be. They mostly just made copies of things and told you to be quiet while you waited. Plus, the chairs in the office were very uncomfortable. They made them that way on purpose. Still, she seemed sure that they would solve our problem, and I thought we'd give it a shot. After school, we met at the locker and at the office together. "Just call me Jess," she told me. Oh. I couldn't think of what to do, and the way she seemed okay when either of us saying anything. It was so awkward. When we told the lady at the front desk that we had a locker problem, she didn't take us seriously at all. She just kept asking things like, "Are you sure?" or "Are you positive?" I was so surprised. Most adults never seem to think our problems are all that important. They aren't much helpful when it comes to solving them. I was ready to give up. I just had another plan in mind. She started explaining our situation to the office lady, Miss Hayes, and somehow convinced her to help us. Everyone knew that the office was notoriously unhelpful, and yet I had never seen anything like it. Was the same kind? Was she kind of? Was she kind of some kind of adult whisperer? Did she get them to fixing? For a split second, I thought this might work itself out. Until Miss Hayes looked up from her computer, lowered her glasses, and said, "So," and I could tell from her pause that was not going to be good. She continued, "It looks like there was a little mistake in the locker assignments. Whoops. Unfortunately, all the lockers have already been assigned, and there weren't any empty ones left. There's nothing we can do." I think she said something about sharing, too. But I didn't feel like listening after that. The way I saw it, this was a sign. After all, the whole mix-up happened because there was some unexpected glitch. Some unexpected glitch in the system where the lockers were assigned alphabetically. I had suspected this for years, but this solidified it. The alphabet was out to get me. When I left school, all I could think about were my options, or rather, my lack of options. I started thinking and walking, and before I knew it, I ended up in front of Antonia's bake shop. It was like some kind of cosmic force had guided me here to try to make me feel better. Or it could have just been my stomach. Inside the bakery, Maxine and Logan were sitting at our usual table doing their homework. It must have been in bad shape when I walked in, because as soon as they saw me, they instantly launched into BFF puffer mode. "Abby, what happened? Tell us everything." Esteban could see it too. Before we left that day, he stopped at our table with a pastry box in the to-go in his hand. "Here, you look like you can use it." Turns out Esteban wasn't just the world's best pastry chef. He was a mind reader too. And inside was a perfectly baked chocolate tart. Just for me. It was exactly what I needed. When I got home, I set the box down on the counter and turned my back on it for 1 second. But I was not alone. Nothing was safe anymore. Mr. Felix Snuggles III was on the bowl, and a second was all he needed. This time, he had crossed the line. I had no choice but to bring it up our official family meeting. Mom got the idea of family meetings from this weird parenting book her friend bought her. At first, we all thought it was a joke, but Mom ended up liking them so much that family meetings became a permanent thing. And she would always wear this weird judge's coat and say, "Woo, family meeting now in session." If they were ever going to make any complaints about Felix seriously, it would be in the family meeting. The hardest part was figuring out how to bring it up. It didn't even help that I could feel Felix staring at me from across the room, taunting with his manipulative, beady eyes. For some reason, this family meeting felt longer than all of the others. It's like we were in the Twilight Zone, caught in a loop discussion about chores and allowance and extracurricular activities. But then I finally saw the chance to say something. I know they had to know the truth, and I had to tell them. "He's doing it on purpose. He's doing it to punish me. Felix clearly had it out for me, but this whole family just thought I was being paranoid. Aunt Lisa was usually on my side, but this time she was not even sure. And after all, Aunt Lisa was a cat person." And then they just looked at me and laughed. Clara just giggled and said, "He's so cute." And Peter just looked confused and said, "But he's a cat." And Mom just tried to make me feel better by saying, "I know you don't really like Felix, but he's part of the family now. You have to try to make the best of it. Who knows? Maybe you'll end up getting along." I could tell that she didn't really get it. The problem was, no one was ever around to see Felix terrorize me. He conveniently timed his attacks for when they weren't looking. Felix was diabolical. I had my theory about Mr. Felix McSnuggle the Third Squishy Paws. Everyone saw him as our new pet, but I knew who he really was. An evil mastermind. He had a plan. His target was identified, me, as his weakest link, and now it was just a matter of time before he ate my homework, spilled my garbage all over my room, ate all my dinner, and left rats in my bed. Felix didn't want to take over my family. Felix just didn't want to take over my family. He wanted to take over my whole life. He wanted to end up in my locker, sit on the school bus, be my best friend's new friend, and be Antonia's mascot, and even get along with the Spencer sisters. Everything was going to change, and there was nothing. When I ever say nothing, I repeat nothing I could do about it. Annalise was a big fan of our family meetings. She had her own unique take on how to deal with Felix. Just imagine that you and Felix are the same. You are the cat, he is you. We are one. Though it sounded a bit unconventional, she was a very convincing person. Somehow she got us to try a new meditation technique with her. Still, it felt silly to imagine one of us being one with Felix. After a while, Annalise let us open her eyes and said, "Don't you feel like the vibe is better now?" And if I was honest, I did feel a little better. Maybe Annalise's new technique actually worked. Or maybe it was just the fact that after all that, she brought out a surprise I've been saving for dessert. A huge confetti-baked cake from scratch for us, and some big fancy treats for Felix. It wasn't exactly the same as the fancy chocolate star from Antonia's, but it was still really, really good. Plus, seeing Felix munching happily on his treats gave me a brilliant idea. At night, Felix liked to sneak into my closet and spy on me through my curtains of justice and coats, and just when I was on the verge of sleep, he would bolt out of this hiding spot and pounce on my head. But not this time. This time, I slipped him a few extra treats before bedtime. My offering of savory, fish-shaped snacks must have satisfied him enough to leave me alone for the rest of the night. Success. My whole cat snack experiment made me think that maybe Mom and Dad had a point. And, in her own way, Annalisa did too. I had to make things work. Because I had an unpredictable science partner who always happened to be my unwanted new locker buddy, and it may kind of be nice. And then I also had to balance convincing a new mortal enemy who isn't even human. But it wasn't going to be easy. That's all I'm going to read for now.
Nice. Thank you. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Ayana?
I like the book, Pedro. Do you have other chapters? Other kind of books of Pedro.
So that book is actually part of a 3-part series. So it's the very first book I started reading a while ago when I first started Young Scholars, and then there's another one, this one, and then there's this one that I'm actually reading now, and then there's one more that I'll read after I finish this one.
Okay.
Nice. Good question, Amaya.
The book series is called Frazzled, by the way.
Okay, Frazzled.
Nice. I want to say they have the same authors, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Series.
I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I'll just put it
Bookie
in the chat.
Vivat, Bookie Vivat, or Vivat?
I don't know.
One of those
I'm
two.
gonna put it in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
Okay.
All right. Daniel, you ready, man?
Yes. Is he there? Daniel, you there?
Yep.
Oh. Hey.
Yeah, let's get into some mystery.
Okay, the book I'm gonna be reading, I actually switched up the book a little bit, but the book I'm gonna be reading is called Minecraft The Crash. It's actually one of my favorite books ever, because I've read it a lot before.
You see the cover?
It doesn't really have a book cover, but...
Oh, okay. All right. Is it about the game Minecraft?
Yeah, it's somewhat about, most of it's about Minecraft, but then, the beginning part is not. Alright, so... Alright. Chapter 1. I'd like to find whoever came up with the phrase, "everything happens for a reason," and give them a piece of my mind. because because of the exact last thing anybody needs to hear when their world is when their world is completely screwed up is that actually a good thing. Like, even if you had a magical time machine that could go back and fix your mistakes, you totally shouldn't use it. Yeah, right. Nobody believes that. Of course, there's really no good thing to say after everybody turned into a complete, utter mess. Better to keep moving forward. Try to fix your mistakes and hope everything will eventually work out. I feel like I should have something wiser to say here, but nope, that's all I've got. Oh, that and the time machine thing, there's always that. Anyway, the mistake I wish I could go back and fix happened days ago. How many days ago? How many days? I couldn't tell you. Time is sort of a mess right now, but one Friday, some time ago, my best friend and I were heading to participate in the social event kickoff of the school year, also known as the homecoming game. I convinced Lonnie to go with me, even though neither of us were sports fans. We were gamers, really. Sports outside of a video game was not high on our list of priorities. But I figured homecoming one of the most hallmark was one of those hallmark high school experience they make a big fuss about in the movies. Why not check it out? As a newly minted freshman, I was secretly excited about high school. It was like unlocking a new level in the video game life. Full-size lockers for a larger inventory, bigger bosses. Wait, bigger bosses like the SATs. You get my drift. Lonnie, on the other hand, was not so convinced about homecoming. So I sweetened the deal, literally. I told him that I would make my famous brownies and bring a blanket so we can huddle up together with the chocolate in our teeth. I'd like to think it was the brownies and the blanket that appealed to him, but I'm not sure. I mean, there aren't a lot of high school juniors that would want to be seen hanging out with a freshman, but we had been friends since I was 6 and he was 8. So we kind of went beyond the usual high school friendship parameters. Still, the point of all this, it was my fault. Everything happened on me is on me. Lonnie showed up around 5. I bounded with the brownies and blanket, got in the car. I let him drive off, and we started talking about Minecraft, our usual convo. Did you build all the traps, he asked? I scrunched my nose. I hadn't, mainly because I forgot. Actually, I thought it would be better to build up on the base instead. I decided to make the floor of greenhouse glass so you couldn't look down on everything. You mean you didn't finish what you said you were going to do again? Lonnie sounded more like a disappointed dad than my friend, putting me on the defensive. I'll get back to it after I finish the new greenhouse, I said. I don't know why you have to get on my case about it. Bianca, Lonnie, you need to stick to the plan. This whole world is going off the rails. If you want to have something like that works like this really well. If we want to have something like this that works really well, we have to do what we set out to make. Isn't that the whole point of the test world? Perfect it there, and move it into the real game. I thought the point of the test world was to do crazy stuff so we can see what works and what doesn't. To go bonkers as we can go. Blow up stuff, make a mess, and never have to fix it. Lonnie sighed. He passed his hand over to his close-shaven head and squeezed his eyelids down for a second as if he was in pain. When he opened his eyes again, there were a cloudy gray like the sky, not the sharp steel gray. That meant he was in a good mood. I thought you wanted to do this project, he said. You said that you wanted to craft a whole world. New landscapes, entire villages, a whole set of society rules and then mess around with it. Guess what? We have to make it, but first we have to make it. And to make it, we need to get to a plan, Bianca. I didn't mean for us to fight. I wasn't sure what to say to get him to stop breathing heavily like he was in an angry dragon cooking up a fire to blow down in my direction. You'll never follow the plan. First, you say what you need to do something. And I say, okay, here's the plan. Then you say, great plan. And then you don't even pretend to do what I outlined. This is going to be a full-on fight. But here I'm just being your chauffeur. Your chauffeur. I don't know how to pronounce that. You just got your license. You need the practice, I said. Plus, think of all of that horizon expanding you'll be doing by finally going on an actual sporting event. Since when do you like sports, he asked. I shrugged. Since it's my first time ever going to a big school thing, and I just wanted to see what it's like to be out with the masses. Masses is just another word for mobs. Trust me, high schools are not always that cracked up to be. He turned screeching down at West Elm Road. Where's the stupid field again? 2 streets down, then a right, I said. He pulled up at the light and revved the engine. Even his body movement seemed annoyed. I sucked in my top lip and chewed on it as if it was one of my and I pulled out one of my cornrows and wrapped it around my finger. You know they're bulldozing the playground, I suddenly said. The light changed and he lurched forward. So, do you want to see do you want to see it before everything's gone? What for? Because it was the new scene of our greatest adventures, I asked. No, because it'll never look like that again. Because it was our place first. Yeah, sure. Do you remember how to get there? I teased. He turned his steely gray eyes on me, and I grinned. I knew that look. It meant our little fight was over. Instead of turning right on Grandview, he turned left. The playground already looked like a ghost town. The swing seats were gone. All that was left was a mottled blue from the faded peeling paint. The rope bridge was lying half in the black rubber mulch. One end still attached to what used to be the climbing wall of the foot and hand rests were attached. I climbed up the ladder, which wobbles. Now that it wasn't attached properly. I went down this tube slide, coming out at Lonnie's sneakered feet. Have a go? I asked. He shook his head. I'm surprised this is the first renovation they're doing since we were little, he said. They probably should have condemned it a long time ago. But it's our place, I said. It was, Lonnie replied, not unkindly. This playground was where we met, where we become friends, and imagined our first worlds together. We would pretend to be swashbuckling pirates on the rope bridge, launch ourselves like trapeze artists off of the swings, and defend our fortress from invading imaginary zombies. In fact, one of our first projects in Minecraft was to create a better version of the playground. The ground was always lava naturally. After all this time, we always stuck together, even as the playground itself fell apart. Remember the time I tried to flip off the monkey bars and you broke my fall? I asked, looking to stoke some nostalgia. Yeah, I got a broken wrist from my troubles, Lonnie said, shaking his head. You were never a great planner, even then, always wanting to push the limits, but never thinking about the follow-through. You know, if I wanted a lecture, I could just go to class. I crossed my arms. Lonnie shrugged and kicked the faded yellow plastic cup from something and walked off to what used to be the dome of monkey bars. Most of the bars were in a pile on the ground. I followed him. He stared down at the pile quietly. The sun was just going down, casting an orange glow over the playground. Silence settled around us. He was right. This place wasn't ours, not any longer. Let's just go, I said. Homecoming rally, yeah, he mocked. I reached my hand out to him and felt a jolt of electricity when he caught my fingers, swinging them as we walked back to the car. Most people thought it was really weird, the two of us hanging out the way we did. The 2-year difference in high school is a chasm, especially when you're going to two different high schools. It's like trying to have a conversation with somebody on the other side of the Grand Canyon with nothing but your cupped hands around your mouth. He turned over the engine and made a U-turn on the tiny street, then peeled off. I pulled out my phone and loaded the Minecraft app. If you're gonna give me a grief all night over not building your dumb traps, you should at least appreciate this sick glass floor I put into the greenhouse. I waved my phone in his screen. I waved my phone screen in front of his face. Look, Bianca, quit it. I'm driving. Lonnie batted the phone away with his arm. He turned sharply to the left, tires screeching. The orange glow from the setting sun blinded us momentarily, and we skidded a little. And Lonnie turned the wheel to right us. Then we realized it was too late. Something that was coming towards us. That we must have run the red light, but we still weren't able to make out whatever the small object was in the sun in our eyes. But we knew it wasn't a small thing. All it felt like it was in slow motion. A few seconds later, strung it into years. Until a robotic female voice suddenly blasted over the car speakers. Proximity alert. Evasive action recommended. The air in the car went from electric excitement to sharp fear in the instant, as an oncoming car straight came for us too fast to do anything about it. Once the car was close enough and blocked out the sun, I could see the other driver's face, not clearly. He had dark eyes and straight hair that spiked in every direction. His head lurked back as his green car collided with our blue one. I remember how the metal crunched as we crashed into each other, folding blue on green and blue on green. How pieces of things began to fly around, glass, metal. At one point, even the light seemed to fracture and splinter off, bursting into fractals of beams searing into my eyes and skin. And there was the smell of smoke and the taste of blood and the scrape of something against my body that felt like it had gutted me open somewhere in the middle. I had wondered if I had been halved. I turned trying to see Lonnie if I can figure out what was happening. If I could see Lonnie's face, to know from his eyes just how bad it all was, but I couldn't see him. It's like he had disappeared. All that was me. Wrapped up. All that left was me. In the blue car and the green car that now looked like one wrapped up thing with glass tinkling as it fell like rain all over me, and the shocking realization that the man from the other car was right up on me. Like we had been running together. He was right there. I couldn't reach out and touch him, and I tried. Only my hands didn't move. Nothing moved, but the cars still rippling toward and away from each other. So I tried to scream for Lonnie, but nothing came out of my mouth, and then everything went black. I'm gonna stop here at chapter 2.
Okay. Hey, Daniel, what was that word that you said you couldn't pronounce? Can you spell that?
Okay.
I put it in the chat.
Is that what
The chauffeur.
Alright. It was. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't stop you.
Chauffeur.
Go ahead.
Chauffeur.
Okay, chauffeur. All right.
Yeah.
Which is basically someone who gets paid to drive people around, but in nice vehicles like limousines and things of that nature, or
Yeah.
luxury cars. Because you have taxi drivers and Ubers and Lyfts, and they're not and livery folks, and they're not really considered chauffeurs. But
Yeah.
all right, good job, man.
Thank you.
Daniel, so why did you decide to change books?
I decided to choose books because that book I read 2 or 3 years ago, and I just wanted to bring it back. It was just real cool. I mean, this beginning part I started to cry from in like when I first read it, but
Oh, okay. That's okay. Good. So it really gives you an emotional response when you read that.
That's
So
awesome to
that's nice.
hear.
That is
Words
great
can
to
be
hear.
so moving.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the name of the book again?
it's called Minecraft: The Crash by
Mhm.
Tracy Baptist.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Nice.
Beautiful.
Mr. Moss, Mr. Darrell, you got any closing words for the crew? Yep, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
No.
Well, all right. First of all, I just want to say kudos to all of our young scholars. You guys were all brilliant today. I enjoyed the readings. As I sat there listening in the background, great job. I just want to take a moment and thank our two sponsors, Neurologic Optical Wellness Physical Therapy and Escello Painting. I wish I could say that this broadcast was free, but it isn't. It's like $50 a month to be able to host this. So I want to say thank you to our sponsors for putting us in a position where we can actually, afford to do this without going into our personal pockets and tapping into our bill money to do this. So again, thank you to Neurologic Optical Wellness Physical Therapy and Escello Painting. Thank you to you, Miss Audie, Rob, and thank you especially to our brilliant young scholars. That's all.
Nice. Do we have the hand clap? Awesome. So I want to say have an amazing week. Thank you so much for sharing space and for coming on here and being so brave and sharing your reading.
Absolutely.
You all are phenomenal readers. And yeah, have an awesome week. You guys go back to school this week?
It's gonna be fun.
Yes. Yes. So
I love school sometimes.
enjoy your week. Stay focused. Do a great job. We'll see you all again next Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
All right. Peace and blessings.